whether you felt that very strongly or very subtly doesn't really matter. What matters is that you get even the barest glimpse of that truth, that you are that light, and the light is infinite. Because once you have that, even if it comes and goes, it doesn't matter. You know, the mind is turbulent, and there can be days you forget. But you can always return back to that essence of yourself as this unlimited light. And when you do, you know, what happens is a lot of these issues about how do you get this, or how do you get that, or could somebody take your, you know, job, or could somebody steal your partner, or, you know, all these things, they all come from the illusion that the small self is running the show, where there's gain and loss. From the world of the small self, there's always gain and loss. But from the world of the unlimited light, there's really, I think there's even a line in the Bible, I can't remember it exactly, but it's basically that says something like, maybe somebody will remember it from, the Facebook page has been so good about, I'll just throw something out that I don't remember the exact thing, and immediately somebody has like the entire thing. But there's something about how in the world of spirit, or in the world of God, there is no gain or loss. There's none. It's absolute illusion, and you can feel that when you're in that place of unlimited light. And I don't mean that, you know, obviously when my own mother died, I felt loss like I could hardly bear. Yet this meditation is one of the ones that saved me, because when you're in that state of the unlimited light, it was so obvious to me that she was in that unlimited light as well, and we were one in the light, that there is no gain or loss, because it's only the hall of mirrors that the small self creates about, oh, I've lost that, oh, I've gained this, I'm ecstatic, oh, I've lost that, I'm depressed. That's all the small self, which is really part of why focusing only on manifesting is so deeply limited, because it's focusing on getting what's in the hall of mirrors. But once you're in that place of the unlimited light, and you start to realize you can actually live in a human body with the emotions up and down, it doesn't matter. You're in a human body. There's bad days, there's good days. Some days the thoughts are great. Some days the thoughts are turbulent. But the identity becomes that unlimited light. Then it's very easy to do the metta meditation, which is really what we were just doing, where you're not only sending the light to yourself, but you're becoming a vehicle of light for other people. And you can even, I think many of you probably just felt this in that meditation, you can even surprisingly easily send light to people who have been completely horrible to you, you know, because you're not condoning their actions, but you're sending the light because, first of all, people that behave that way need it, but also because if you don't send the light, the resentment and the anger will keep you tethered to those people and often keep you hooked into their often very low level of consciousness. So by sending the light, you actually, it's another way of uncording yourself. You know, we've been talking off and on about cords, psychic cords, and some of the other classes. And one other way to do it, besides going in and cutting the cords, is just the cords cannot stand up to this velocity of light. If you start sending unlimited love and light to somebody from your past who harmed you, you're not inviting them to come back in. You're not. It's not like you're saying, you know, here, come do it again. You are just sending it on the impersonal level. You're basically making the statement to the universe. They are the light itself is so far beyond any perceived hurt or attack from somebody else. So, and in a way, that's really what, I've said this before, but it's really what Thich Nhat Hanh was talking about, I think. When he was saying to the monks, everybody they were being tortured. And he was saying the issue isn't so much the torture, which is horrible, it's the hatred of the people that are torturing you in the prison will now hook you into their level of consciousness, and that's where your suffering you'll live in hell with them mentally. So this is what I think. There's a lot of different versions of how to do this, but the light is so intoxicating, you could probably feel it, that as soon as you just go back, it doesn't even take a lot. You could probably feel it within a first minute of that meditation. As soon as you go into that waterfall of light, and you go back into remembering that whether you're having a bad day or a good one, you are that waterfall of light. You live in a crazy culture that taught us all to forget that, but it's not hard to go back to remember. And there's this waterfall of light. You inundate yourself with it. Sometimes it really does feel like a car wash to me, like you go in all streaked and dirty, and there's just all the muck of, day-to-day existence that's easy to pick up, but equally easy to wash off. And you're just washing it all off yourself, and you're getting all that radiance pouring through you as the divine, and then you send it out wherever it's needed. It's not taking anything from you. And I think that's a really important point, because this stuff is really critical. I think some of you already know versions of this, but if you're a healer, or you're a counselor, or you're a yoga teacher, or you're a coach, or you're a doctor, or you're any kind of quote-unquote helper, a lot of why people so often burn out is because they think they are the ones doing the doing. And, I know this for myself, even though I over time learned these tools. The first 10 years I was giving readings, I thought I was the one giving readings, and I had enormous attachment to, would people actually hear what I was offering, or, would they do this, would they do that? And as time went on, especially once I got sick after 10 years from thinking I was the one doing it, after I recovered, that's the whole story in OO of when I was sick, but after I recovered, this kind of meditation really became a godsend, because it was like, I'm not the one doing the readings, and I'm not the one teaching the class, and I'm not the one doing any of this. Let the light do it. That's a simple, very simple code for how to let the light do it. It's that line from Kabir when he says, if you become a slave to love, love does all the work. It's really true. And when you look at those things, those of you that do that kind of good work in the world of helping other people, the more you are inviting in that space, that let the light do it, offer it to the divine. Don't carry the burden of thinking you are the doer, because the small self is extremely limited at that work. It's really no different than, when Michelangelo made David, and he said, I didn't do it. I just took away the parts of the block of sculpture. He says, I just cut away the parts that didn't want to be there. He didn't say, aren't I this amazing artist? He just listened to the block of stone and listened to what it wanted. And I think there's just something so profound about all of this. The more you do this kind of work, the more you get out of the way, not because you're making yourself get out of the way, but because the ego will never on its own want to get out of the way. But you are inviting in the light to do it for you. So, and it's invaluable, especially for anybody in the helping professions, but really for anyone. For anyone. You release the identity, and it's the same. I think I talked on another call. It's the same if you're a writer or an artist or an actor or singer or, anything creative, any action. If you're inviting in the light to do it through you, everything changes.